Hi guys, Terry here with Truth in Numbers. Wanting to check in with y'all today. I actually had a tough week this week. I had a couple of nights where my sleep wasn't very great. I kind of like personal growth stuff, and not by choice, but by life circumstances or whatever, and dynamics, let's put it that way. And so today I walked it off earlier at the park and actually took a nap because I needed to get caught up in sleep, or however that works, but I was tired. And so it reminded me of how we are shouldering two weights. We have, the regular weight of life, which, life isn't fair, as my parents used to say, and life isn't easy. It's not. It can be very good, and some things can be easy about it, but it's not all easy, right? It can be hard. And so that's one weight, and then we have this other weight of autocratic test runs and impending stuff and uncertainty, and both are things, right? Both are things. And it's all the more important that we think about self-care and building into strengthening our headspace, cultivating, heart and soul goodness, and then, working on our core. CORPS includes our physical selves as well. So all the things. And last week we talked about thankfulness after Thanksgiving and the presence of blessings being there, even if there are dire circumstances. Regardless of circumstances, there can be some blessings somewhere. And also about endurance, like conserving energy and what that looks like and how we might be able to do that. We talked about that specifically with regards to drafting and resting, and taking not the full brunt of the load, and switching that out amongst ourselves, I guess. This week, I wanted to speak to gratitude, as well as, and I'm going to quote something from Sarah von Branach. Her quote is, "Creating emotional and psychological safe havens and shelter." I love that. We'll get into more of Branach's information and thoughts here shortly, but I did want to start with a quote from Dr. Mark Hyman. I don't know if you guys know him. I ran across this quote on YouTube. He's a physician that deals with functional medicine, so well equipped to understand the connections between our headspace, our hearts, and our bodies, right? And he says, quote, "Gratitude is the ultimate biohack. It reduces stress, improves sleep, strengthens your immune system, and even aids digestion. The vagus nerve connects your brain and gut. Gratitude activates it, calming your system. A grateful heart is essential for health." So wise words, something to keep in mind. Reminder that self-care includes all of the above. So Sarah von Branach came out with a book in 95. Some of you may be familiar with it from back then or since, and I'm going to try to put this in front here. I've got it marked for today. Oh, it's backwards because of the camera. This is what it looks like, and this is the later edition. I think it's the 25th anniversary of it. And so I do want to read from it. It's a good book. Basically, she talks about, she goes month by month, and there's a daily thought and a daily practice for cultivating abundance, an abundant life. Good stuff. So, here's where this quote came from. These couple of paragraphs here. Most of us on any given day will admit that we hardly know whether we're coming or going, or where we've been. We feel constantly distracted, even in the company of those we love. We're often on the verge of tears for no reason and feel that there's no one we can talk to who will understand. More bewildering is that this continuous sensation of being anxious, overwhelmed, and emotionally overwrought has somehow become our culture's accepted new normal. Virtually every woman I know admits that she wakes up worn out and weary, on edge, and more likely to imagine difficulties ahead than ever before. That's where we're at. But this behavior is not normal or healthy, and someone needs to say no. I'll go first. This is not normal, says Veronica. We are living through extraordinary times, but they are not the new normal, because there is nothing normal about what is unfolding every day. And the only way to safeguard ourselves and those we love is by realizing and acknowledging that technology must have its limits. How do we do this? She goes on to say, the way women have always protected their own, by creating emotional and psychological safe havens that shelter what we hold sacred. And then she goes on to say, that's why I'm back. The way women have always protected their own, by creating emotional and psychological safe havens that shelter. I could stop here, right? Note to the men out there that she does have, even though this is speaking to the woman's heart, she does have a similar format for men. So when we're, so just know that I'll be digging into that too, because I think it's important to address both ends of the continuum of, the masculine to the feminine. So, but all this to say is that when we're dealing with this flooding zone of corruption and crap, that we we can build in a lot in the headspace, our heart and soul, and then in our physical bodies, to make an impact so that we can endure with measures of well-being. So we are working towards the January of 2025, right, and beyond. And this particular paragraph that I'm going to read is from her opening to her chapter on the 31 days of January. And she says here, January is the month of new beginnings and cherished memories. Come, let winter weave her wondrous spell, cold, crisp, woolen muffler days, long dark evenings of savory suppers, lively conversations, or solitary joys. Outside, the temperature drops as the snow falls softly. All nature is at peace. We should be too. Draw hearthside. This is the month to dream, to look forward to the year ahead, and to the journey within. A couple of caveats here. All nature is at peace. Well, climate change aside, right? Because that's a thing, and it's unfortunately going to be pushed to the wayside for a while, at least in America, I'm assuming. So, but that aside, I walk out my door, I see the squirrels, I see the birds, I see the evergreens and the deciduous trees and the falling leaves still. I have my neighbor's sycamore tree has falling leaves that go on for months. And yet, you know what? It's sometimes somehow comforting that this is just the natural rhythm of moving into winter, and nature is at peace. They have something they call, I might have mentioned this earlier, forest bathing, and come to find out, it's not a bathtub in the woods. It's it's just walking in nature, and the peace and orderliness and the rhythm of nature that's consistent from year to year is really something good for us to drink in, and we can appropriate that peace and consistency into our souls. That's kind of how it works, nature. The other thing I just wanted to mention is that she says January is the month to dream, to look forward to the year ahead. into the journey within. The year ahead, I don't know if I'm looking forward to the year ahead. And that's okay. That's all right. We'll take it as it comes, right? But we don't have to look forward to it. We can look forward to the journey within, or, look toward cultivating that journey within, because that's going to strengthen us. That's going to give us the ability to persevere and to endure and to have well-being in the midst of difficulty and darkness. So that's kind of where, as I read that, that's how I contextualize it. Yeah. And in looking at her definition of simple abundance, guys, she lists 3 definitions, like a regular dictionary. It's an inner journey, simple abundance. The title of her book is Simple Abundance. A spiritual and practical course in creative living. A tapestry of contentment. And when I read Tapestry of Contentment, it really spoke to me. This tapestry of contentment is something that I would love to see in my life, more vibrant, more fully fleshed out, thicker, sturdier, more robust, like those really heavy tapestries that are in art museums, that were in castles and stuff like that to protect from the cold. That tapestry of contentment is those things that hang on those castle walls were really, really thick and sturdy and did a good job against drafts. And I like that visual. I think of the challenges to our contentment. We need to cultivate this contentment, but there are challenges to it. And when I look at life, I was thinking of these rings of life, or rings of rings of life. I start with global. I am not necessarily a very global person, but I am interested in global news and global trends, and we know the global political trends and all of that, and that's a thing. Then also national and locally. Then comes the ring of work and family and home, and then this ring of core. French word corps, or cor, ps, multiple, plural, whatever. But I think of these outer rings: the global, the national, the local, even family. We don't have control over a lot of that. We can have influence, and influence has its place and is important, and we can cultivate that. But when it comes down to just brass tacks of well-being, it's this core, this amalgam of heart, mind, soul, and body, right? That's all connected, where we can decide how we manage our headspace. We can decide what we think. We can choose how we cultivate and protect our souls and our hearts, and we can also decide what we do to take care of our bodies, right? So this tapestry of contentment is one that is handled at this very central, singular space, ring of our lives. And then I had mentioned how Branagh has both a thought and a practical guide to pretty much each of her daily comments. And here's one that has to do with gratitude and blessings. And so I want to read this paragraph to you. Her task, or her suggestion, is use acrylic magnets use acrylic magnet picture frames to create a gratitude collage for your refrigerator. Place in them photographs of those you love and are grateful for, such as family, friends, and pets. Also, reminders of the little things you're thankful for, like the car repair bill that was less than you had anticipated. Or create a bulletin board for your gratitudes. And as the seasons change, take them down and place them in an album and put new in their place. When New Year's Eve rolls around, glance through all your blessings. This is a marvelous ritual because we lose sight of our blessings so quickly. And I would say we don't need to wait till New Year's Eve. We can look at our blessings whenever we need to kind of review them. And what a nice kind of regular thing that we can do. I'll speak for myself. I want to do this. Now, will life kind of sweep this away? That's the challenge for all of these things. So I need to pick a couple of things that are really going to help me, and not try to do everything. But this one really seems valuable. And I really like this idea. So it's not just the review at the end of the year or on whatever regular basis that needs to happen. It's the actual practice of regularly gathering these blessings for that have happened in the last days, weeks, or month. So something kind of cool. And then I'll close with this quote. I know I'm reading heavily from Bronick, but good stuff, right? She says, gentle is our path. Gratitude in the thread. Oh, I am so sorry here. Let me try this again. Gentle is our path. Gratitude is the thread we weave into the fabric of our daily lives. Giving thanks for our simply abundant lives and asking for the gift of one more thing. Grateful hearts. Love this. And I think it's important to, dwell with these words, let them kind of wash over our hearts and our minds, as we can, as much as we can give words allowance to do that. The words that speak to each of us. And again, I'll say, keep what you like, leave the rest. It's really important for us to bend and to stretch in this self-care, strengthening, not to break with it. This stretching and strengthening in self-care and becoming more efficient in self-care is really, what I'm speaking to is becoming more efficient and being able to access self-care and for the self-care to impact our well-being more efficiently. But it's very important for us to think about us, this self-care routine and stretching to feed us and not to rule us. So don't push on it too hard, but do, when you can, try to stretch into it. If this isn't your thing, then it's not your thing. If you're wanting to invest in endurance and well-being during difficult times, these are some ways, that may be helpful. So, you guys, these are the things that I wanted to talk about with you today. I do think about everyone regularly and how we're all doing and care. As rough as these videos may be, it's a way that I can consistently reach out and say hey, and to encourage us all to be mindful about moving forward in ways that cultivate shelter for the things that are important to us, well-being and endurance, etc. So that's all for today. Take good care of yourselves. I'll work on that on this end as well, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.